On this day in history, April 17, 1961, the U.S.-backed Bay of Pigs operation failed to overthrow the new Cuban dictator, Fidel Castro. In 1959, Fidel Castro came to power in Cuba after successfully leading a revolution against the U.S.-backed Cuban dictator Fulgencio Batista. Castro established a communist government in Cuba and aligned with the Soviet Union, which raised concerns for the United States. In 1960, the U.S. government, under President Dwight D. Eisenhower, authorized the CIA to develop a plan to overthrow Castro's government. The CIA began training and arming Cuban exiles, known as the Cuban Revolutionary Council or CRC, in secret camps located in Guatemala. However, the plan was inherited by President John F. Kennedy, who took office on January 20, 1961. Over time, Kennedy became increasingly committed to the anti-Castro cause. On April 15, 1961, the Bay of Pigs invasion was launched as approximately 1,400 Cuban exiles, armed and trained by the CIA, landed at the Bay of Pigs on the southern coast of Cuba. The plan was for the exiles to start an uprising against Castro's government and gain support from the Cuban population. The invasion quickly ran into problems as it failed to gain support from the Cuban population and encountered strong resistance from Castro's forces. The Cuban military, equipped with Soviet-made tanks and aircraft, easily repelled the invasion on April 17, 1961. The remaining exiles, outnumbered and outgunned, were forced to surrender on April 18, 1961. Over 100 invaders were killed, and more than 1,200 were captured by Cuban forces. The Bay of Pigs invasion ended in failure, and President Kennedy publicly acknowledged the U.S. government's involvement, taking responsibility for the failure on April 20, 1961. The failed invasion became a significant embarrassment for the Kennedy administration and the United States on the international stage, damaging U.S. relations with Latin American countries and the Soviet Union. The aftermath of the Bay of Pigs invasion saw Castro's position in Cuba strengthen as he used the failed invasion as propaganda to rally support for his government and further aligned with the Soviet Union. The United States imposed an economic embargo on Cuba, which continues to this day, and subsequent U.S. administrations became more cautious in their covert operations abroad. The Bay of Pigs invasion had significant repercussions on U.S. foreign policy, damaged the U.S.'s international reputation, and strengthened Castro's grip on power in Cuba.